Nene Yashiro, a hopeless romantic with a love for the occult, decides to summon the powerful Hanako-san, the ghost said to grant any wish if called upon in the school bathroom. But when the ritual works, she gets a surprise. Hanako-san acts more like a demon than a ghost. After an unexpected twist of fate, Nene ends up becoming Hanako's servant, getting dragged into a hidden world of spirits, curses, and chaos. As she learns more about Hanako, she discovers he's not just a ghost, he's something far worse. This school is home to 7 legendary wonders, but none is as infamous as the 7th, the tale of Hanako-san of the bathroom. According to my story, that's probably just my uncle. But according to their story, Hanako-san resides in the 3rd stall of the girls' bathroom on the 3rd floor of the old school building. She is said to grant a single wish to anyone brave enough to summon her, but her gift comes at a steep cost. She demands something precious in return. To summon her, one must knock 3 times and call her name twice. A girl does just that, knocks at the door, and when the door of the bathroom opens, no one is there, making her wonder that the door opened by wind. But as she takes a sigh of relief, she hears someone whisper in her ear, and when she turns around, it turns out to be a guy, a see-through body, old uniform, and ghostly orbs telling the girl he is an apparition, the 7th of the 7 wonders of the school, Hanako-san of the bathroom. But he is not a girl. Hanako-kun assures her that he is a boy, but the rest of the rumors are definitely true about him as he grants a wish for whoever summons him and takes one thing as payment and asks for her wish. She is worried as she thinks he is some perverted ghost making him offended as he tries leaving. But she stops him, and he even stops, making him realize she is simpler than he thought. She smiles, telling him she is Yashiro Nene, high school, 1st year, class A, and she wants the person she likes to return her feelings right away. Hanako asks her, and she wants success in love, but with whom? She shows Hanako his pictures on her phone. It's Minamoto Teru, a 2nd year. He is smart, cool, and amazing and is nice to everyone. There was even one time she dropped her pencil case, and he was nice enough to pick it up for her.
You serious?
Hanako tells her that he has got it and he will grant her wish. Yashiro asks him how to grant those wishes and if he uses special items or something. He tells her he has actually got a great item and hands her a book, 100 Methods of Love, a how-to book, and tells her if she borrows his power, she needs to pay a fitting price, and if she wants power beyond human comprehension, the price will be that much steeper, so this is safer. Yashiro hesitates and asks him what if she still wants more. Hanako tells her that would be impossible since he hasn't got tools for it. Yashiro thinks within herself that maybe it will work because Hanako is, after all, a ghost, and he must have granted many love wishes before as well. Hanako opens the book and reads Method 78, which says, make the most of your special skill, so Hanako asks her if she has a special skill. She takes him to the gardening field of school and starts gardening, as it is her special skill. Later on, she tells him she started gardening because a boy she used to have a crush on said that he likes feminine girls. She also started cooking and sewing, and she was going to tell him she liked him once she was good at all of them, but he rejected her, saying he is not into fat Dakin legs. Hanako gives her a message card and tells her to write her feelings in it and give it to Minamoto Teru, but she is scared as the first time with another guy didn't go right. But Hanako motivates her to give it a shot, or else she wouldn't know what is coming for her, so she starts writing on the message card and thinks that confessing her feelings will be too early, so she should just thank him for picking up the pencil box. The next day she puts the message card with summer vegetables, as she used to grow them on Minamoto's desk, making his friends wonder if he saved a fox or something, and it turns into a weird mystery. Yashiro is embarrassed as they thought she was a fox who got saved by Minamoto-senpai. Hanako tells her to now find a missed button on his shirt and tells her to help him, but all the other girls see it and go crazy to help him. Now he tells her to make a vegetable lunch for him and puts it on the table after cooking. But as he opens it, she overdid it, another failure. The next plan is to hold a piece of toast in her mouth and bump into him as he turns a corner, but she rather falls off the stairs. In the bathroom, Hanako tells her to just confess it to Minamoto, as he is a beginner in all of this and makes Yashiro angry as she was doubting his plans were pretty normal and wholesome than a ghost. He drops a small seal, a magical item for matchmaking. Yashiro threatens Hanako to gulp it if he doesn't explain. He reveals it's a mermaid scale that can create an unbreakable bond between people but comes with a curse. Instantly Yashiro gulps it, saying she doesn't mind if it means Minamoto will return her feelings. She runs to find Teru, and when she does, he is with a girl, and that girl proposes to him, but he rejects her, telling her she already likes someone else. Yashiro listens to the conversation, but suddenly something happens, and Yashiro ends up being a fish and is in a small water box with Hanako, and he tells her she is in a mermaid curse, as he already warned her, as fishes are mermaid scales. A mermaid appears to claim her, but Hanako defends her. He gulps the other scale and tells Yashiro they're now linked forever because of the scales, and he asks her to assist him as his human partner. He reminds her that she wanted someone to care for her, and now they share a bond. Yashiro realizes she doesn't truly love Minamoto and accepts Hanako's proposal. Hanako-san said he was thinking he wanted a human assistant, and a week later Yashiro is begging him to let her go home for that day. But he says no and is forcing her to clean bathrooms, as according to him he has given her an important job, and once it is done, he will let her go. He tells her to hurry up and finish cleaning. She gets frustrated and tells him in anger that this is the prime of her life and she finally got her chance. Fuji-kun, the coolest guy in her class, asked her out, and it was a second date. A rendezvous in the classroom after school. Hanako teases her and asks in curiosity if they are going to do some naughty stuff in class. However, Yashiro tells him they are going to organize student council paper in an empty classroom, and Fuji-kun is going to leave right away, even though he invited her because he is so shy. Hanako asks her what she is planning to rendezvous with. She says it is fine, and maybe she is just a convenient woman now, but she will work her way up. Hanako tells her that he is pretty sure that Fuji is using her and comes from behind and makes her hold the mop and tells her to stay, saying he will treat her a lot better than him. She says if her choice is cleaning the bathroom with him or sorting papers alone, she prefers papers. Hanako gets irritated and blackmails her by saying he guesses she misses breathing through her gills, and they should go and buy fish food, and instantly she starts mopping the floor. In her English listening class, Yashiro is annoyed by the thought that she will have to go and clean the washrooms again, and that things will not work out with Fuji. She thinks that Hanako is still the one who is just using her and even sets a guard, Haku Joudai, to watch her. All of a sudden, the professor calls out her name to read a paragraph, but when she stands up to get her book, all her stuff is gone. Later on, in class, she wonders where all her stuff is, and that is when a girl, Akanei, comes from behind saying maybe Yosai-san took it. Yashiro asks her who she is, so the girl tells her it is a rumor that is going around. She explains that if anyone loses something they were sure they had been careful with or finds something missing from its usual place just when they needed it. That must be the work of Yosai-san, but they must never look at Yosai-san, and if someone does, it will take their life. She explains it to her but says it is just a rumor, but lately a lot of people really have been losing things, so maybe Yosai-san does exist, though Yashiro doesn't believe any of it. Meanwhile, they hear noises from the corridor, and when they go to take a look, the locker doors are gone. Akanei suddenly tripped on something and poured all the water on Yashiro as she had a water bottle in her. The scales are visible on Yashiri's face, so she starts running away from the crowd, and on her way she finds a clean towel lying on the ground and begins to clean her face. But then she sees her disappeared stuff and many other students' vanished stuff in the empty corridor, and all of a sudden an image appears in front of her. It is Yosai-san, and it grabs Yashiro and tries attacking her as she saw them. But Hanako appears there on time, and with a blow breaks the Yosai-san and saves her. Weird small pieces called mock are lying on the ground currently known as Yosai-san. They are apparitions who have lived with humans since ancient times, committing minor thefts and pranks. Yashiro finds them pretty different now as they look cute, so Hanako tells her mock cluster together like that and shapeshift when they attack something. Though they don't harm humans, because of the rumors they have to act according to the rumors, or else they will vanish. Hanako and the mock request Yashiro to change the rumors in favor of the mock so that they can stay, and Yashiro agrees and forgives them for attacking her. In the evening, Hanako and Yashiro are together when Kamome Academy Jr., 3rd year, Minamoto-ku, Minamoto Teru's brother, comes in between, and Hanako tells Yashiro he must be a member of the Minamoto clan. Back when the darkness of night was far deeper than it is now, the apparitions were called yokai, and the yokai were dispelled by the brilliant exorcist Minamoto no Yorimitsu, this boy's ancestor. He threatens Hanako to exorcise him and attacks him, though Yashiro stops him, but Ku warns her that she can't trust him, as Hanako murdered someone when he was alive, and he is an evil spirit. Ku attacks Hanako with his spirit staff called a Reidiju, though Hanako handles the situation, and with one blow, Ku is lying on the ground, being unconscious, and Hanako walks away saying Yashiro can even make friends with murderers. All of this makes Yashiro realize even Hanako is her friend, but she doesn't know anything about him. Yashiro remembers when Hanako said to her that she can even make friends with murderers, and at that time he seemed angry or something she didn't understand. Her attention shifts when Akanei comes from behind asking her why she has been so quiet lately and asks her if she has a crush on someone. Yashiro smiles and denies, saying she wishes that was it. Akane then asks her if she had heard this story. The second of the 7 wonders is the Misaki stairs. Someone never steps on the 4th stair. If they break the rule, they will be dragged into the world of the dead. They will be ripped into countless little pieces, and at twilight, that stair drips with the blood of its victims. It's the B stairs in front of the art room, and Akane tells Yashiro that a bunch of kids say they have seen puddles of blood there. Yashiro gets scared when AI questions her that if she doesn't like her stories, she lies because AI's stories have turned out to be true so far. Meanwhile, a guy comes to call AI for a career counseling class which she needed to attend, so she says bye to Yashiro and tells her she will learn more scary stories for her. When she goes away, Yashiro looks at the flowers that AI was taking care of in the class and thinks that AI will be happy to see that they are blooming. Later on, the flowers are gone from the class. She spots monkeys, but they didn't seem to take them. She asks her professor about the flowers AI has been taking care of, but the professor tells her there is no AI in their class. Even the students murmur among each other, wondering what Yashiro is talking about. Yashiro runs out of the class wondering what is wrong with everyone in the class and calls AI's number, but it isn't reachable. But when she calls her house number and someone picks up the call and Yashiro asks them about AI, they straightly tell her there is no one by that name living there. On her way to the bathroom to meet Hanako, she runs into a guy, Natsuhiko, who she finds hot, though she ignores him, but the guy has sticked something magical with her and goes away. Yashiro goes to Hanako and tells him everything. However, Hanako tells her to inform the police, but she finds it weird and strange as AI's desk, flowers, and all the things are gone too, and everyone says they don't know any AI. Suddenly, Minamoto enters the girls' bathroom and grabs Hanako's collar, asking him what he did with Yaku and Sadu from his class, and is furious at him and says that Hanako spread weird rumors that nobody remembers those guys anymore. Hanako realizes something is up and says he has an idea. He explains to both of them that there are 7 places in this school that connect to the spirit world. Those stairs are one of them. The missing students must have been taken to the spirit world, and they are called boundaries. When a living human wanders in, their whole existence is erased. Minamoto says his brother even told him about boundaries once. They are the seas between the shores of this life and the next. The world of ghosts and apparitions with nowhere to go and things everyone's forgotten. Yashiro cries, asks Hanako if they will ever come back, so Hanako consoles her and squishes her cheek while telling her that he will save them as he is number 7 of the 7 wonders and it is his duty to maintain order between humans and apparitions, and tells her although she will be helping him too. Minamoto comes in between and tells Hanako to get his hands off her and he will come with them too to protect Yashiro. Hanako tells him he won't be protecting him as he is not her assistant and he will only protect Yashiro. On their way to the art room, they see blood dripping on the 4th stair. All 3 of them stepped on the 4th stair and arrived somewhere having a label as Misaki. All of a sudden, a phone call comes in on a telephone at the side, and when Yashiro picks up the call, someone from the other side says it is Misaki. Misaki says she taught students in the schoolhouse at the top of these stairs, but she was sliced and died there, right where they are standing right now, and asks her to find her body for her. Misaki cuts her conversation and says first her right arm. She uses it to write with chalk and tells her to hurry as class begins soon. As she hangs up, a time limit starts and Yashiro tells them to search for the right arm. Though Minamoto and Hanako don't take it seriously and search for weird stuff, as Yashiro lectures them to be serious, the times get over. Doll-like structures called number 2 attack them, and a giant scissor follows them to slice them in half, though all 3 of them run to save their lives. Moreover, the dolls grab Yashiro's leg, and the scissors are coming to slice her in half, though Hanako saves her and breaks the scissors in half. They run, and Mox help them to get the right arm, and the door opens, and they get saved from there, but they get to another place now, and Misaki calls them to find her left arm. Minamoto asks Hanako if number 2 has any weaknesses, and Hanako tells them Yorishiro. They are objects that give power to 7 wonders, and it is at the deepest part of this place, probably past another door at the top of the stairs. They climb the stairs and find Misaki's body parts like she asked them to, and finally get to the last one. Yashiro realizes that Misaki didn't have any body parts, so who was the one who called them, actually? In order to reach the deepest part, where the wonder's weakness, Yorishiro, is sealed, they gracefully overcame challenge after challenge in their way, and they finally arrived at the highest floor. They see a doll with all the body parts they all collected attached to it. But it looks pretty weird as the body parts do not match with each other. Suddenly, they hear footsteps and turn around. It is the lady who was on the telephone with them. Yashiro finds the lady pretty and wonders if she is Misaki, but remembers that she didn't have body parts. Though the girl rushes towards the doll and all 3 of them think that she will be angry with the way the doll looks, she looks happy with it. She comes to Yashiro and says she was quite a bind, as she hasn't the least idea what a human body is made of, and she knew asking humans about humans was the right idea. She touches the doll and says it's nothing like any of the other bodies so far and says she is sure this one will work. She calls the doll Misaki and asks it to walk for her and blows on the doll. The doll starts stretching her parts but falls on the ground. The girl gets frustrated with the failure. Yashiro hesitantly asks her if she has seen any other kids, and they'd be wearing the same uniform as them. The girl says if she is talking about the kids who have failed, they are all around them. Yashiro sees a doll-like structure that looks like AI but has no face, and when Yashiro rushes towards the body, its head falls on the ground. The girl is angry because of failures after failures and looks at Yashiro and says she will do exactly what the rumors say and will tear her apart. The walking scissor appears and attacks Yashiro, but Minamoto comes in the way to save her, and his arm turns into a doll's arm. It looks like that thing turns humans into dolls when it cuts them. Minamoto tells Hanako to transform like before and blow it away, but Hanako tells him it is number 2's territory and he can't use Haku Joudai's powers without her permission. On the other side, Yashiro is crying in the corner while hugging Akoi's doll-like body, but Hanako motivates her that Akoi is still not dead, as this world is on the border between life and death. Listening to this, Yashiro gets the courage, and Hanako ties her with a rope and says it is not the deepest part, so he was thinking if it is not the very top, maybe it is the very bottom, and pushes her to the bottom. Yashiro is lying on the ground and remembers that Hanako pushed her off, and she went into the water and somehow is on the ground now. It's bright and has a different atmosphere from the rest. She wonders if this is the deepest part and stands up to find Yorishiro. As she runs to find it, she gets tripped by a box and sees a diary in it. It had a picture of that girl and a lot of writing in it. Basically, the girl on the top floor isn't Misaki, and she is a student who had a crush on her teacher, Misaki. More stuff is written like Misaki gifted her hair-cutting scissors, and she will treasure the scissors in the wayside shrine, and it is evident as Yashiro reads more that the woman liked Misaki. But he stopped coming, and she heard a rumor that a teacher fell off the stairs and died. Probably Misaki, and as she kept waiting for him, she made dolls in his weight. However, her rage grew, and she planned to make a Misaki of her own. Instantly, Yashiro hears the woman's voice. She is now on the bottom floor with her scissors. Yashiro tells her she knows she isn't Misaki and that she wrote this diary. The woman confronts Misaki's body, which she wants to collect, and using his name saves time and starts walking towards her to attack her, though Yashiro tries moving but is trapped by the dolls. Yashiro tries convincing her that she knows she loves Misaki and he wouldn't be happy. She says she already knows Misaki treasured his students, and if he found out she'd done this, he'd be cross with her, but she wants him to scold her, and she will do anything for it. She traps Yashiro between the scissors, but Haku Joudai saves her as Hanako arrives there in time. Hanako whispers to her that if she destroys Yorishiro, he can manage, and tells her there should be something there that is precious to number 2. She remembers that scissor thing she wrote in her diary, so Yashiro thinks of breaking it, though it has a talisman on, so she just has to peel that off. Hanako holds the girl while Yashiro runs towards the scissor and removes the talisman from it, but the walking scissors come to attack Yashiro, though Hanako saves her and attacks Misaki's stare with a knife. They get back to real life, and Yashiro asks Hanako where Minamoto-kun and the rest of the people are. Minamoto is turned into a small doll, but obviously everyone will be back in their real state, and Hanako shows her Misaki stare's true state. She is an Inari statue. She moves, though. The Inari statue tells them her name is Yako and the students will be back till morning in their real state, and she doubts anyone will remember anything. Yashiro gives her the photo she had with Misaki and a group of students. Yashiro feels dizzy, so Hanako kisses her, but she is embarrassed and runs away from there. The guy, Natsuhiko, Yashiro ran into before, gets back with something he sent with Yashiro and gives it back to a lady. She is calling Koku Joudai a messenger or helper, same like Hanako has. All the students, including Yashiro, are doing gardening, and Yashiro is thinking that it has been a month since she met Hanako, but nothing good has happened, but then realizes that she got to know the cute little mock, save students as well as AI, and thinks about that kiss but then screams because of being embarrassed, telling herself that there is nothing good in it. Yashiro thinks nobody tried to kiss her ever, so maybe Hanako likes her, remembering all the things he has said to her in the past, and thinks that maybe he saved her from the mermaid because of this reason. Later on, in the class, she tells AI about this but doesn't tell her that he is a ghost, but tells her that he is not her type. AI asks her what he is like, so she tells her that he doesn't stand out much, he is shorter than her, and he is good at fighting. AI tells her to try going out with him at least if he confesses because Yashiro has no experience with the guys and gets fooled by pretty faces. AI tells her that at that rate he will confess to her soon and shows her a tree from the class window, the confession tree. She tells her rumor that it was raised by a god of love, and if you confess your love to someone under it, you'll become a couple for sure. AI tells Yashiro to look around the class, as there are so many couples in the class lately, and most of them get together after a confession under that tree, and he assures her that he will ask Yashiro to come there soon. After class, in the bathroom, Yashiro is cleaning the bathroom as usual, though Hanako asks her to come to the big tree by the garden after school tomorrow. Yashiro asks him if he is talking about the confession tree. Hanako chuckles, comes closer to her, and whispers that it is good that she already knows, and he will see her there. The next day, Yashiro rushes to the class, but they see a guy, aka AI, who always liked AI, was practicing yesterday to propose to AI with his friend, Yamabuki, but instead they got feelings for each other now after rehearsing the confession and decide to be a couple. After school, Yashiro is on her way to the garden, thinking she never got a chance to ask AI's advice, but once she gets to the tree, Hanako is already there, though his back is facing Yashiro. Yashiro calls him and suddenly he confesses that he loves her and wants to go out with her and then tells her to say no and reject him. The tree starts speaking, telling her that it is the rule to accept the proposal under this tree according to the rumors, and tries attacking her, but Hanako saves her with a knife and cuts the tree in half. Now the tree is so small, like a toy. The tree says it worked so hard to save up that power from the students' rumors. Hanako tells it that cheering on love is one thing, but it overdid it. Yashiro asks Hanako what it is, so Hanako tells her it is Kodama. He is a tree apparition. He is the reason for the recent unnatural increase in couples there and asks her, "Isn't that why you agreed to help him out?" Yashiro realizes he just wanted this thing to end and not propose to her. She tried playing along and not showing him what was going on in her mind, but instead she started crying and couldn't control her emotions and told Hanako that she was embarrassed now and why would he even kiss her on the cheek the other day. Hanako stutters but tells her she was tired, so he put a charm on her so that the apparitions wouldn't kill her for a while. She slaps him because he kind of misleads her and tells him she is leaving. Hanako stops her by holding her wrist, hugging her, and apologizing to her for making her cry. Yashiro sees him without his hat, realizing he looks like a normal boy, and she calls him her friend but never got to know about the crime he committed or why he died or what his real name is, but at that moment she wanted to know more about him. Minamoto, Yashiro, and Hanako are together, and Yashiro wants to take readings of Hanako for love and trouble compatibility readings, but he tells her she should take a reading of Minamoto Teru, someone she likes, and all of a sudden Teru appears and greets all of them but asks Ku to come with him as he wants to have a word with him. Teru tells Ku to do his duty as he was told to exercise the 7 wonders as soon as he encounters them because, according to Teru, they are harmful. But Ku tries convincing him that Hanako isn't harmful at all. However, he doesn't listen. Later on, in the library, Yashiro searches for books and research papers to find out more about Hanako, but her book falls on the ground, and a girl, Sakura Nanamine, helps her with it. She asks Yashiro if she is interested in the 7 wonders and tells her if she wants to know more about Hanako, to visit the 5th of the 7 wonders. The next day, Yashiro rushes to AI in class and asks her about the 5th wonder. She tells her that the 5th wonder is the 4 o'clock library. The school library has a special repository that someone can only enter at 4 p.m. The books inside it have the names of people on them. They contain records of those people's time at this academy and what they've done and what they're going to do. Both the past and future are written in them. The library has 3 types of books: black, white, and red. White books are records of living people, black books are about people who have already died, and red books are the only ones you must not read. Yashiro is scared to go to the library alone, so Minamoto joins her. Together they head to the library. Yashiro apologizes to Ku for dragging him there, but he tells her he'd like a look at Hanako's book himself. Yashiro asks her if he wants to find out about Hanako's weaknesses because he is still hung up on exercising Hanako. Ku says it is true, but he realizes that he doesn't actually know the first thing about him, so he thinks it might not be right to exercise him just because he is an apparition. Yashiro says, in that case, they both want to learn more about Hanako and the birds of a feather, so they should give their best shots. Instantly, they see a butterfly sitting on a pillar, and as Yashiro tries touching it, the pillar transforms into a door. They both stand stunned, thinking that maybe this is it and this is the 4 o'clock library. As they open the door, it is another boundary. This is a border between this life and the next, and they have to watch out as it is awfully dark. Amak gives them a lamp to help them see as they walk, noticing black and white books. Yashiro explains to Ku that white books are for the living and black for the dead ones. Ku suggests to her to look for black ones because of Hanako. Meanwhile, Yashiro follows another butterfly, which leads her to a book with her name on it. Yashiro, with the help of a ladder, climbs up and grabs the book. As she opens the book, she reads about the poem she wrote a few days back about Hanako, and as she opens the book further, it has a page of future. It marks where the future starts. As she is reading the book, it is turning red. And all of a sudden a giant shadow appears and attacks Yashiro, though Minamoto-ku saves her. Though he couldn't do much, he gets scared and screams for Hanako, and all of a sudden, Hanako appears there and with his knife saves both of them by attacking that image with it. The librarian of the school appears from behind. With his giant hands, it is like a spider carrying Ku and Yashiro to him, and says he hates kids because the book turned red and asks them who read it. They both get scared, but Hanako asks him to stop teasing them and tells them it is the manager, Tsuchigamori. They stand there in disbelief as a teacher is a wonder, and they can't believe he is not a human. Tsuchigamori says it is pretty common. Apparitions can't exist if rumors about them die out, so it is important to spread their own rumors and tell them that some of their friends might not be human either. Misaki is there too, and Yashiro asks how she is here. It tells her that it was summoned by number 7. Hanako says 7 heroes are working together. The 7 heroes work to keep peace in the school, and Hanako is the leader. Ku says that only 3 of them, including Hanako and Misaki, were attacking students until just recently. Hanako says they keep peace at this school, but it looks like one of the 7 of them is a traitor. Somehow, they've forged a bond with a human, and they are spreading rumors about apparitions, altered to suit their needs, and number 2 is one of their victims. Hanako says he has an idea that they will temporarily get rid of all 7 wonders. Destroy a wonder's Yorishiro, and it loses its power. That way, they don't have to worry about finding the traitor. Once the problem is solved, he can just appoint them again. He asks Tsuchigamori to hand over his Yorishiro, but he tells them he will hand it over to them if they tell him their personal secrets, and if they don't, he will submit the Yorishiro but will leak embarrassing secrets over the PA system. They all tell their weird secrets. Hanako tells them he likes donuts, and other than him both Yashiro and Ku tell the secrets which Tsuchigamori already knew, as he just wanted entertainment and was joking. He then makes away from a bookshelf that leads to his Yorishiro and asks them all to follow him and says, but the only one he will let go beyond this point is the priestess, Yashiro, who will destroy the Yorishiro. As they walk, they both talk about random things, and Yashiro asks him if it is possible to change what is written in the books in the 4 o'clock library. Tsuchigamori tells her it is impossible, but he has seen just once when the future changes. Tsuchigamori gives her an ugly rock with a seal, a moon rock, his Yorishiro. He was given the rock on that day when humans traveled to the moon from the guy who changed the future written in his book. As she removes the seal from the rock, Tsuchigamori is cleaning bruises of a kid, Yugi, and asks him who is doing it to him, but he seems to ignore it and shows him a rock, telling him it's a moon rock and he found it at night right in front of him. These were the memories in the Yorishiro that Yashiro saw, although now she is awake in the academy on a bed in the medical center of the school. She realizes Yugi Amen is who number 7 Hanako used to be. Hanako changed his future as Tsuchigamori read his future book, and he was going to be a science teacher in the future as his love of stars developed, and he'd be at this school. If he'd lived, he'd be Tsuchigamori's co-worker. Tsuchigamori says he wasn't supposed to die like that while he was still a brat, and he is the only person who changed his future, and he cut short his future and didn't go anywhere like he said. He goes out, and then Ku and Hanako come in, and Hanako thanks her for breaking the Yorishiro as they manage to keep the peace. However, Yashiro feels sad for Hanako and hugs him, knowing about his tragic past. Hanako doesn't understand why Yashiro is acting differently, so he asks Tsuchigamori if he told her something. Tsuchigamori doesn't reveal the truth and says he only explained to her about his Yorishiro. In the girls' bathroom, cleaning is in progress. Ku is helping Yashiro too, and Hanako tells Yashiro that she has been acting weird lately, as her reactions are kind of off today, and she doesn't even grumble while she cleans anymore. In class, Yashiro is thinking about the glimpse she got of Hanako she passed in the 4 o'clock library. She can't bring herself to look Hanako in the eye after it. After class, she goes gardening and blabbers that it is all because of the memories she saw in the library and thinks that they made it all seem weirdly real. She thinks that it's a bathroom cleaning day and she will meet Hanako today. All of a sudden, Minamoto-kun comes and asks for a favor. He asks her if she knows how to make donuts. They both are in the home ec room, and Yashiro is making donuts, and when she made it, the kitchen is a mess, though Ku tells her that he talked to Hanako about the bathroom cleaning so she shouldn't worry about it. Yashiro asks him why he wants donuts, though he looks confused and suspicious, but he says he wants them for his little sister and apologizes to her for asking all of this so suddenly. However, she says she is grateful as she has been feeling kind of awkward around Hanako lately. After making some donuts, she tells him about what she saw in the 4 o'clock library. She cries, saying maybe she should stop being friends with him as he is an evil spirit and maybe he killed someone as he was being bullied. But she also says she knows she can't leave him alone. And she knows she shouldn't pry so deeply, but she wants to know more about him even if he is a ghost or a murderer. As all the donuts are ready, Yashiro and Ku try tasting them. But Minamoto Teru comes from behind, saying he bought all the ingredients, so he should eat them, and asks Yashiro if she made them. Yashiro tells him that Ku asked for help as he is a bad cook, though Senpai speaks up that he is a good cook, but before he could complete his sentence, Ku shoves a donut in his mouth and puts some of those in another bag and tells Yashiro to give those to Hanako as he likes donuts and he will be happy. Yashiro rushes towards Hanako, and Teru asks Ku what is up with him, as he does all the home duties at home, so was the donut making related to an apparition? Ku says that he knows he isn't that strong, but if he thinks he needs to exercise, he definitely would. Teru sees a mock hearing their conversation and looks at it with suspicion. But when Ku asks him what is wrong, he tells him that he will just observe for now and tell him later. The same mock goes to the girl, Sakura Nanamine, who asks Yashiro to visit the 5th of the 7 wonders, and she asks the mock if she managed to do it, so the mock replies saying, all green. Yashiro goes to Hanako and gives him the donuts. Hanako is happy as she is back to normal because she was being weird. Yashiro hesitantly says that he is a ghost and he is already dead and he is different from normal in a lot of other ways. She says she knows it's too late for this, but she realized that he is kind of a pain. But she has decided that no matter how troublesome he is, she likes him and she will stick with him, and at last, as she opens the bag of donuts, a black crane gets out of it. Hanako attacks it with his knife and it is sliced in half, but after a few seconds it transforms into a human. The guy says that knife takes him back and asks if Hanako is going to protect the girl even though Hanako killed him. He says he has got a great assistant and she helped him get all the way up there and touches Hanako's face and asks him if he is happy to see him. Yashiro throws her drink on the guy and starts disappearing, saying he will see them soon. After he is gone, Yashiro asks Hanako if he is the one Hanako murdered. Instantly, Hanako pins Yashiro on the ground. His eyes are teary, but words can't escape his mouth, and he goes away from there. Hanako didn't appear in the bathroom for the rest of the day. Yashiro wonders who is that boy Hanako killed. Why did he kill him? There are so many things she wants to ask him, but she missed her chance. In the broadcast room, Sakura Nanamine and Natsuhiko are talking, and Natsuhiko says if they find out they are changing rumors, those 3 might come pick a fight with them, and even President Minamoto is onto them too. All of a sudden, the same guy murdered by Hanako rushes towards them and Sakura asks him how he felt after meeting his brother after so long. The guy said Aminaka Hanako was probably happy and now they are preparing to spread another rumor. A new rumor is spread all over the academy. They say it has been appearing at the junior high entrance lately, an evil spirit, grabbing arms while someone changes shoes, and according to the rumors things happened with Ku and his friends, but Ku catches the spirit. Later on, in the bathroom, Yashiro stares at Hanako and he seems okay as he won't talk about what happened, so Yashiro thinks of doing the same. Meanwhile, Ku rushes in with the spirit and tells Hanako about it, so Hanako looks at its eyes and says the spirit is there because of regrets, so Ku should do something about those. Ku takes the spirit to a corner and tortures it to ask for its regrets. The spirit stands up saying it is weak and cute doesn't mean Ku can take advantage of it, and calls him a pervert and a molester. Minamoto-kun thinks he can't show his weakness to a spirit and flexes in front of it that he is the second son of an ancient clan of exorcists. The spirit doesn't take him seriously and calls him a lame-ass traffic safety earring and asks him what he wants from it. Though Ku gets serious and smudges its face on the ground and asks it to give him its name and regrets in 5 seconds, or he will get rid of it. He apologizes and says he is Mitsuba and her regret is photography. There was a photo she wanted to take before she died and says if he really wants to help him do what he never got a chance to, then go get him a camera that was donated to the photography club. Ku finds his camera, and now in the garden she has been taking pictures. Though Ku asks him when he will be over, she asks him, isn't he going to stick with him until he finds the photo he wanted to take? He has been taking shots of animals and landscapes and stuff. Ku convinces him to take his pictures and snatches the camera, but their conversation is cut short when Yaku comes and sees a camera in his hand. The camera had Mitsuba's name, and Yaku knows his, as he was in their class in the first year but changed his section. However, he said he heard Mitsuba died last year in an accident. Then Ku remembers meeting Mitsuba when he was alive. It started raining, so Mitsuba and Ku go inside, and he tells Ku he was bullied in elementary school because he was girly, and he was a plain guy and not noticeable, that is why he tried to fit in, and now when he is dead, nobody remembers him at all. Ku tells him if he was just himself, then maybe he wouldn't be like that. On the terrace, Mitsuba takes a picture of the sky and asks Ku if he would have been his friend if he was alive. Ku tells him that it doesn't require them to be friends if he was alive, as they can still be friends. Ku is looking at the sky, and secretly Mitsuba takes his picture, but when Ku asks him whose picture he is taking, he smiles, telling him something that means a lot to him. They are now walking in the corridor when a voice breaks in from behind. When they turn around, Ku thinks it is Hanako, but he is someone else, the guy murdered by Hanako, his brother probably. The guy punches Mitsuba in his heart. But Ku tries defending, although the guy smudges Ku's face in the wall. Mitsuba made a wish for everyone to remember him, with the guy as he grants whoever summons him a wish, and takes one thing in payment of the dead people in the next life, and Hanako grants wishes of the people who are alive. He turns his Koku Joudai into a radio and says to Mitsuba that his wish is going to be granted now. He tells Sakura with the speaker that everything is ready, and Sakura spreads a rumor that he is a ghost with a broken neck who haunts the junior high entrance. He is a very lonely ghost, so he might try to talk to people, asking people, "Have you forgotten me?" And if people can't answer by saying his name, then he will break their necks and make them just like him. Mitsuba is turned into a half-baked apparition, as, according to the guy, his wish was kind of vague, and he didn't know what he wanted to stay here to do, but he didn't want it to end like that. The guy thanks Ku as he draws out Mitsuba's real wish for the guy. The guy says the stronger the wish, the stronger and more definite the apparition can be. He tells Mitsuba's wish is, he wants friends. He wants to be with his friends, forever and ever. He tries hurting Ku, but Hanako gets there on time and saves him and grabs the guy's collar, asking him why he is doing all of this. He stands there nonchalantly saying he guesses he likes the way people look when they stop holding it in, and says that time was great when Hanako killed him, and asks him if he wants to play with him together again, and then disappears. On the other hand, Mitsuba lies on the ground, lifeless, and Ku is crying to bring him back, but Hanako says that death is the end. Wandering the world of the living as a spirit isn't a continuation of life, and when someone dies, that is it, and there is nothing more. Hanako further says no matter how much you regret or wish, if you couldn't do something in life, you can't do it after death either, and that is how the world works. Defy that, and you end up like this. He thought that Ku might be able to sever his regrets, his attachment to the living world, but it backfired. Hanako annihilated Mitsuba, though Ku is all emotional and blaming himself that if he was strong enough, it wouldn't have happened. Later on, Ku is at his home realizing what Hanako said was right. But the powers he has to see the apparition are to do at least a little to turn that nothing into something while looking at pictures on Mitsuba's camera. He finds his picture in it, remembering Mitsuba saying he took a picture of something that meant so much to him. It was Ku. Yashiro thinks of the boy who just looked like Hanako. Things have been awkward between them since what happened on the roof. Her thoughts are interrupted when AI rushes into the class telling her she has got an invitation from a cool older boy. The boy is Natsuhiko, who makes announcements with Sakura. Yashiro follows Natsuhiko and asks him what he wanted from her. He says she is a special girl, so someone wants to meet her. He had a goldfish bowl with him, and from behind the guy looking like Hanako comes and pours a bucket of water on Yashiro, and she is turned into a fish because of her scales. The guy acts like eating her so she faints because of being scared. They put her in the bowl. Later on, when Yashiro is conscious, she is turned back into a human and sees herself somewhere, and a lot of food is in front of her. She is thinking it is another boundary. Suddenly, Sakura, Natsuhiko, and the guy looking like Hanako appear. Sakura introduces herself, saying that she is Nanamine Sakura, a high school third-year student, and like her, she is a human who formed a bond with an apparition in payment for a wish. The boy who looks like Hanako is Tsukasa, twin brother of Hanako. Sakura asks her to be her friend, but Yashiro knows they have something fishy going going on against Hanako, but 30 minutes later tells them Hanako's rude and moody behavior towards her. Sakura then goes to Yashiro and says neither of them has it easy. She further says as long as their bond exists, they can't defy their master's orders, however much they might want to. Yashiro chuckles, saying Sakura is right, as whenever she says no to Hanako, he turns her into a fish. Sakura says she knows how Yashiro feels, that is why she hopes Yashiro will understand. And then all of a sudden the chair turns into a creature that traps her body. Yashiro cries and begs them to let her go. Sakura says she didn't want to do it, and she would help her if it was in her hands, but she has to obey Tsukasa. Tsukasa says Amain and he are polar opposites, and to put it simply, they are rivals, and he'd like to disappear now. The room starts sinking, and both Sakura and Tsukasa go away, but Natsuhiko is tied with her too. He says Sakura likes acting rough with him at times, and if she doesn't mind dying, then she is in a good spot. Yashiro screams for Hanako, but the room sinks. Natsuhiko and Yashiro are somewhere else now. Yashiro thinks that whenever she was in danger, Hanako always came to save her, so he will come there too. She asks Natsuhiko what happened as the room sank. She looks around, and it is like a boundary. A lot of little mocks and doors are there too.
Boundary?
But there is no water on the ground. A voice comes from somewhere saying it is not quite the same as a boundary, it is Hanako. A mock comes with a small radio, and Hanako is speaking from it. Yashiro starts crying, saying there was a tea party and she tried to be careful, but the sweets were good and she got kidnapped. Hanako tells him he doesn't know for how long this signal will last, so he will make it short. He tells her the place they are in is not a boundary or isn't a place of the dead or the living, it's nowhere. It's both everywhere and nowhere, and she can't reach anywhere in the past or future from it. Hanako tells her to do her part as she sees lots of doors, so she opens the ones she recognizes, and one of them would connect to the original ones. But she should be careful as some of the doors might lead to dangerous worlds. The signals start getting bad, and they both disconnect. Natsuhiko and Yashiro open doors one by one, but till now all the doors turn out to have weird creatures in them, though Yashiro asks Natsuhiko to be careful, but he tries to act cool and opens whatever door he wants. A creature drags Natsuhiko inside the door. Now Yashiro is left alone. She wonders what she should do as she doesn't even have a concrete sign by which she can open the door, as it is dangerous to open doors randomly because she will end up like Natsuhiko. Instantly, she hears music she heard before, and a little mock helps her find the door. It is the classroom door from the old school building, but when she enters, she sees the past Hanako she saw in the library. He has bruises all over his body, but when Yashiro asks him if he is hurt, he cries and just runs away from there, dropping a key. But as she tries to stop him, Haku Joudai finds her and brings her to the real world. She meets Hanako, and he hugs her, apologizing to her for ruining the day when she brought donuts, and she realizes Hanako always protects her, and she wishes she could protect him too the same way he does for her, though she hides the key and doesn't tell Hanako anything. In the bathroom, Yashiro brings the gardening club activity log, which she borrowed from AI the other day. AI told her she was organizing the gardening club albums, and only the photo Yashiro has weird hands showing in it. Yashiro shows the pictures to Hanako and Ku. The hands grow, and they are inconspicuous, but she catches them growing out of the corner of her eye. The hands appear in the washroom too, but as Ku sees Yashiro cry, he gets angry at the arm and does arm wrestling, but the arm throws Ku to the ground, but then disappears, and when Yashiro sees a picture in a book, one of the hands disappears from the picture. Hanako says maybe they wanted attention and tells most lesser spirits are satisfied and disappear once you resolve their desires, so maybe they have to play with the hand that comes out in order to remove them from pictures. After that they played their way through the countless hands that stood in their way. Almost all the photos are cleaned out now, and the last one is left. Ku sees pictures in the journal, and they are from last year. Ku says they are all pretty well taken. Yashiro tells Ku they got a boy from the photography club to take them for them, and he won a lot of awards, and his name is on the last page. When Ku opens the last page, he sees the photographer's name, Mitsuba Sausake. The last hand is on the mirror, and it takes Yashiro's hand and pulls her inside the mirror even though Hanako tries grabbing her, but her hand slips away from his hand. The hand takes her somewhere. Yashiro thinks it is another boundary as there is water on the ground, but her attention shifts when she sees a guy, and it is none other than Mitsuba, though Yashiro doesn't know him. Yashiro finds him handsome, but Mitsuba makes fun of her, saying she had Dakin legs, and says it is a letdown as he thought someone finally showed up. but it was just a daikon. There is a door and Mitsuba takes her inside. Yashiro's eyes widen as it is so giant. It is a school wonder's boundary and is called Hell of Mirrors. Mitsuba tells her he was just getting worried because he can't get out of there. Yashiro asks him if he is a junior high student or a ghost. Or have they seen each other before, and how did he drag her there? Mitsuba says he asked the hands to bring someone to help him and tells her these hands are like accessories for the wonder and they are not his. Yashiro thinks within herself that probably those pictures must have had something to do with the wonder. Mitsuba says that he asked for help and Yashiro showed up, so will she help her? She gets confused and says she can help him a little bit as she has been in places like that before. As they walk, Yashiro thinks that Mitsuba is maintaining his distance. So she goes to him and asks him if he has been in boundaries before. Mitsuba denies it, so Yashiro explains to him about the boundaries, as she has been to the 4th boundary now. Mitsuba says it is kind of creepy how Yashiro knows everything while being a living thing. Yashiro hits a mirror and suddenly sees AI on the other side. And she calls her ugly daikon Yashiro, and in the mirror all the people Yashiro knows appear as well and are calling her ugly daikon together. The Hell of Mirrors, the 3rd of the 7 wonders, is a mysterious world on the other side of the mirrors. There is a mirror there that reflects the hearts of anyone who wanders in. People with beautiful hearts and brave people are fine. They can get to their own world, but if there is even a little ugliness or fear in their heart, the mirror will reflect it. Then, the world will suddenly turn into hell and attack that person. Hanako explains to Ku about the 3rd wonder. Hanako says he'd like to rescue her right away. But to put it simply, number 3 attacks people in its boundary by reflecting what they fear or don't want to see. So, its strength changes depending on who is in it. Hanako says if he rushes in blindly, he could end up making it stronger. On the other side, Yashiro is suffering from daikon bullying and doesn't find it fair that she is being singled out, so she pushes Mitsuba in front of the mirror, but when he comes in front of it, nothing shows up. Mitsuba thinks it is probably because he is a ghost or has no memories of how he died or how he lived. They don't know how to get out of this place, but Yashiro says they need to break the Yorishiro. But AI appears again in front of the mirror where Yashiro is standing and calls her ugly and shows her the top of the place. And they have to remove the black ceiling talisman to beat the wonder, and AI says they want to reach the stairs up to the Yorishiro. They need to pass through that mirror, but she won't let an ugly daikon pass it. Instantly, a bell starts ringing in that place, and the girl turns into a monster, saying Yashiro must have realized by now that the world is better off without someone with such fat ankles, so it shall take her place. The wonder sends minions to take her place, and they start hunting Yashiro, but as Mitsuba throws mirrors at the minions, they start following him too, but Tsukasa appears and saves them.
急に暗くない方がいい。あなたと入れ替わってあげます。
Tsukasa asks Yashiro if she is okay and then goes to Mitsuba, saying Mitsuba can't do anything on his own and he is hopeless while Mitsuba is crying. Yashiro doesn't understand what is going on. Yashiro is confused as she remembers Hanako telling her the 7 wonders are supposed to be unbeatable in their own boundaries, but Tsukasa defeats the wonder and makes it look so easy. Tsukasa says to Mitsuba, who is crying, that he is so weak he can't stay in the living world, so unless he wants to disappear, he has to work hard and get stronger. He goes to the wanderer and rips its heart out and further says he told Mitsuba if he wants to get stronger, he has got to beat a strong apparition and eat it. In the science prep room, Hanako and Ku come to meet Tsuchigamori as it has been 2 hours since Yashiro was kidnapped. But he can't go into a number 3's boundary. Even though Ku and he tried prostrating themselves and begging to let them in, it didn't work. Tsuchigamori says each of the 7 wonders' boundaries has its own function. His library is the school record, and number 2's is space, meaning that he can reach almost anywhere in the school through her boundary. He says it while tossing the Inari statue, Yako, to Hanako. Ku says that he thought Ishori smashed number 2's boundary along with her Yorishiro, but Tsuchigamori says the boundary still exists, though that just took away her authority over it, although he is sure it's falling apart without anyone to oversee it. Yako tells them she won't help them, but when Hanako shows her his knife, she apologizes, and then they go to number 2's boundary. Yako tells them to follow her to number 3's boundaries and not wander off. While walking up the stairs, Ku says to her that someone changed her rumor, so she went way off the rails and attacked them, though Yako says she sees he likes to dredge up unpleasant subjects. Ku hesitates and says he just wondered what that felt like. Yako gets furious, asking him what he even wants to know that because she knew Misaki was the only good human. Hanako tells her that Ku can't get over his ghost friend who disappeared after someone changed his rumor a little bit like Yako. Yako then says that it wasn't a nice feeling, looking back on it now. She says she was out of control, but she didn't turn into something else. It was just that a side of her she normally concealed was forced to the surface. So, if he said anything to his friend, maybe it reached him even if he didn't understand, as no matter what shape he shifted into, he was still himself. After some time, they arrive there. It is a mirror that leads them to the number 3 boundary. Tsukasa is forcing Mitsuba to eat number 3's heart, but when Yashiro tries to stop him, he makes her sleep with his magic. Ku and Hakano enter the boundary, and as Hakano sees Yashiro, he hugs her, realizing she is sleeping. On the other hand, Mitsuba is scared as Tsukasa says he granted Mitsuba's wish, and the price was his reason, a piece of his soul. Back then he took out a piece of Mitsuba's soul, his reason, and held on to it. And after it, the rest was easy for him as he made a body by scraping together lesser spirits that were about to vanish and stuck Mitsuba's soul into it. Ku tightens his hand around his magical staff and cries, saying it is Tsukasa's fault that Mitsuba is gone. Tsukasa stands there unfazed, saying he always wanted to make an artificial human, but he made an artificial ghost. Ku couldn't bear it and tried attacking Tsukasa, but instead he took Mitsuba into the air while Mitsuba was screaming that he was going to fall. Tsukasa says to him that he was born with nothing, but now he has number 3's power and gives him a choice to let his power be taken away and disappear or steal a position in the 7 wonders and take over this boundary. Mitsuba says he will do it as he doesn't want to disappear yet. He says while the alternative is disappearing while he still has nothing, if that is his choice, so he will become a wonder or whatever it takes. Tsukasa grants his wish, saying he is wonder number 3 now, and it is his boundary now, and he can become any kind of apparition or whatever he wants to be. Mitsuba says he wants to become a normal human again. But all of a sudden, Hauko Joudai surrounds them, and Hanako says apparitions born in the land of the dead are forbidden from living as humans in the land of the living, and he needs him to give number 3's position back. Tsukasa laughs mockingly, saying Mitsuba has become strong now, and it is his boundary, so he will squash all 3 of them easily and provoke Mitsuba to harm them using his new powers. Ku tries to make Mitsuba remember everything, but he seems to forget all of it. Tsukasa distracts Mitsuba, telling him he has better things to do, and makes him fight Hanako, and he attacks them. Ku asks Hanako what they should do, so Hanako tells him to take back his position as a wonder. They just need to destroy his Yorishiro. But Yashiro isn't waking up, so they will have to start. Hanako grabs Mitsuba from behind, telling him he isn't even a dead person who once lived in the living world, though he is a pure apparition, the furthest thing from a living human, which means he can never become a human and he should give up. But Mitsuba says no and starts attacking everyone, but stops when he sees rebels gathering upon Yashiro. Instantly, Yashiro wakes up, and Mitsuba tells all of them to go home for that day as he doesn't want to harm them, and if they destroy his boundary, it won't be good for him. Hand comes from the mirror and takes all 3 of them to the real world. While they are being dragged, Mitsuba tells Yashiro to not struggle and they will soon meet again. All 3 of them are lying in the bathroom unconscious. It's been 3 days since all 3 of them were forcibly returned from wonder number 3, the Hell of Mirrors, a world on the other side of mirrors. Yashiro is at her home thinking she is glad that they made it back safely, but she wonders about Mitsuba, the ghost she met there. She thinks that he was a beautiful but cocky boy. Still, he tried protecting her and wonders if he will be okay with Tsukasa. Ku told Yashiro about Mitsuba as they got in the real world. The next day, in class, Yashiro is exhausted and not concentrating on the lecture. Instantly, Hanako comes in class, flying in the air, asking Yashiro what is wrong. Yashiro gets shocked and screams, though Hanako asks her to keep her voice down and tells her that he got a sudden urge to see her. As she is talking to him, AI thinks she is talking to herself. Hanako opens Yashiro's braid and makes a weird triangle hat hairstyle on her head, and when Yashiro sees it, she screams, and the professor asks her to save her makeover for after class. After class, Yashiro tells AI that she has fallen in love with an apparition, Hanako. He annoys her and teases her but sometimes looks so vulnerable that she can't just abandon him. She thinks that maybe it would be better if she were an apparition too. A voice comes from somewhere saying they will grant her wish. Yashiro gets stunned and looks around, although the voice tells her to look down on the ground. There were 2 talking fishes, but as Yashiro sees them, she runs away from the class. In the school's garden they appear again. Yashiro tells them that she is an assistant of the 7 Wonder and a friend of an exorcist, and if they touch her, they will be burned down. She is on the tree while being scared. The fish addresses her as Your Highness and says they have come to free Your Highness from the clutches of the loathsome school wonder. Yashiro doesn't understand why they would want her free from Hanako. The fish says she carries a portion of their mistress the mermaid's body within her, basically the scale. The fish says it is their law that one who consumes the flesh and blood of their mistress will become their next ruler. The fish provokes her that it has seen how Hanako treats her so roughly and uses her, so it is better for her, and gives her mermaid's lifeblood and tells her to drink it, and explains to her that it will overwrite her unfortunate bond to that school wonder and will formally establish her bond with the mermaid. The fishes tell her that they will come tomorrow again for her answer. Haku Juaodai is keeping a spy on Yashiro and then informs Hanako about all of it. Yashiro shares it with AI as she will have to cut ties with Hanako, and she even likes him, but before AI could give her some advice, Akane rushes into the class and proposes to AI, though she ignores it. She then meets Yako, and it says that humans and apparitions shouldn't mingle, and Hanako is a willful brat and says though it doesn't apply to a good human like Misaki. Later on, she goes to the science prep room and tells this to Tsuchigamori, but he tells her to go for it as the princess wanted, with no experience necessary and no academic requirements. So it sounds like a good deal, and he asks her what Ku and Hanako say about it. Yashiro tells him she hasn't discussed it with them yet and asks Tsuchigamori what happened to Hanako in the past and who Tsukasa is. Tsuchigamori tells her that Hanako doesn't want her to know it yet and she should ask this of him directly, and she should even take the decision on her own so that she won't regret it. As Yashiro leaves the room, Tsuchigamori asks Hanako what he is going to do, as he was hiding behind the curtains and listening to the whole conversation. The next day, Yashiro apologizes to the fishes that she can't accept the mermaid lifeblood as she can't leave everything in the middle. Even if Hanako doesn't care about her, she doesn't want to believe that is true. The fish tells her to reconsider it, and some other fish grab and take her inside the water. Yashiro turns into a fish, but Hanako saves her and says to the fishes that it looks like their mistress didn't teach them not to take things that belong to others and threatens them with his knife. All the fishes disappeared as they got scared. Yashiro confesses that she wanted to turn into an apparition, thinking she would get close to him and then maybe she'd be able to understand him more. She says she knows she probably means nothing to him with her teary eyes, though Hanako holds hers and pats her head, telling her he promises that he will tell her everything if she wants to know, but till then she should stay his assistant. In the broadcast room, Tsukasa is trying to spread fake rumors, though Sekura stops him from playing such pranks. Mitsuba is with them too and asks them if he can stay there. However, Natsuhiko gives him a warm smile, telling him it's his choice, and Tsukasa is thinking of doing other tricks to annoy people. In class, Ku promises to himself to get stronger and bring back Hanako. In school, positive rumors are spreading about the apparitions, and Yashiro goes to the washroom again, like the first time, and knocks on the door 3 times. When Hanako appears again, they smile as they get the nostalgia of the first time when it happened. That concludes the anime recap. As always, if you enjoyed, let me know down below and I'm out.